Alexa, turn on Christmas tree.
Grab your stitching, grab your knitting. It's Flossmas.
Hi, Yins. Happy Flossmas, day 10. We're 1/3 of the way through it already. One third of the way through Flossmas already. Or just about 1/3. Anywho, hope you're all having a wonderful day as I'm like twisting the camera all around. I have been asked to show this. My finish of my Old World map. So here is my Old World map finish. It is a Janlin kit, and it looks like this. It is a Janlin kit. It is the Platinum Collection. I think I ordered mine from Amazon a couple years ago. You can probably still order it from Amazon. So I'm gonna actually, after this clip, I will turn the camera around and show you up close my stitching, just so you can see up close the detail if you're interested in this piece. This was the very first piece I ever finished whenever I came back to cross stitch 2.5 years ago. So 2016. I started this in July of 2016. And this is actually, now that I think about it, the very first piece I've ever finished ever. And then I had it framed at Joann Fabrics. It's not the best frame job, but it's adequate for my very first framing finish. And I really like the fact that the green frame, I like the frame. So that is my very first finish of my Old World map. And to note, I have been eyeing up a new Old World map that I might start stitching, and it's a full coverage piece. So after Henry, we might see another new Old World map come out, and it's not a Heaven and Earth design. But I'm going to keep that to myself for now until I decide for sure if that's something I'm going to do. But that is something that is in the works. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around and let you see my map. And I'll give you a little bit of detail about what I did change, because there are a few things that I did not add into this piece. Here is the Old World map close up. So, some things that I did not do is there are supposed to be beading in this border that goes around the entire outside frame. I did not do that beading. I was not ready to do beading. I wasn't worried about the beading, and so I didn't want to do beading. Also, one thing I will say about the framing, you can't see the entire stitched border. It wasn't so much that I was horribly concerned about it, but if I ever decide to reframe it, that is something I'm going to look into. But I'm very happy with the framing for what it is. Anyways, the other major change that I did, and that is in the actual map part, is if you look at you can see that there's supposed to be longitudinal and latitudinal lines. I chose to keep those off, as well as the wording for the um, the continents. I really didn't feel like the longitudinal and latitudinal lines and the wording did the pattern any justice, and I really liked it much better without it. I thought it looked much more natural without those lines and words. And then the last thing I did was I chose to do the year that I completed it in Roman numerals, just to give it a little bit more of that old world style. So there is my old world map by Janlin. Love this kit, love this design. Learned a lot about cross stitch through this piece. And I did stitch it on the called for I think it's 14 count Ada. I'm perfectly happy with it. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I was not thrilled about, I think it's DMC metallics in this piece, and there's not a whole lot, but there's some up in here. You can see the metallics. And there's some in the borders of, here we go, there's some there, but I made it work. And I framed it with museum glass frame, museum quality frame glass, so that's why we're not getting any glare. So there you go, Janlin's old world map. So I'm back in my stitching spot now, and I'm doing a wee bit of knitting, and I thought I'd chat with you a little bit while I work on my new knitting. So last night, Flossmas Day 9, I had said that I cast on my sweater, my new sweater. So I am now currently working on my new sweater. So I did not do any more on Henry last night like I had anticipated. What I plan on doing tonight is working on Henry a little bit longer. Yeah, let me get that right. I plan on knitting a little bit longer on my new sweater. So I'm currently working on row 6 of my sweater. Once I get my sweater done, I'm going to go up to row 8 because this sweater has a 4-row repeat in the pattern. So I need to ensure that I at least get the 4 rows done every time I sit down, so that way I don't forget where I am at. So I'm going to stitch up to that 8th row. I did 4 rows did I do 4 rows last night? Yeah, I did 4 rows last night, and I'm going to do 4 rows tonight. And then I'm going to move on to work on Henry. My goal for Henry tonight is to complete 4 colors on the page. Now, I'm going to pick 4 colors that are not dominant colors on the page, so that, the color isn't going to take me 4 hours to complete. But I do my goal is to stitch at least 4 colors on Henry. So with this sweater pattern, there were some slight hiccups, I think I might have mentioned last night, with the fact that I had some concerns about the gauge due to using a fingering weight yarn and the pattern. I was able to determine that the needle size that I needed to use to get gauge was a size US 5. It is going to make with the fingering weight yarn, so it is going to be the gauge is going to be a looser gauge. It's not going to be that tight knit fabric that that you expect in most sweaters, that I know a lot of people prefer when it comes to knitting. But the goal for this sweater vest that I'm making is to be more for spring, fall, early summer sweater vest that I can wear over top of a button-down Oxford style dress shirt, so that I can, it's light, but I can also wear it in winter, so I can layer. So the fact that it's not going to be a dense fabric is perfectly fine for me, because I want variation in my knitting patterns that I'm working on. The other thing with this sweater pattern that I am learning is the fact that I have to learn cables. I had never done cables before, and this pattern has a cable the entire way up both sides. So the underarms, or where the underarm would be, up both sides is a cable pattern. It's a very basic cable pattern. It was very simple to learn. It's only in the second row of every four row repeat, and it did not take me any time at all to figure out. And the nice thing is that a lot of people have cable needles to use. I was gifted which I don't even have with me momentarily. I was gifted some of my grandmother's crochet hooks. So this is a size 8 crochet hook, and this one's a pretty old one, but I'm using it for my cables, so that way I can just slip the slip stitches. I was rudely interrupted by a telemarketer. Anyways, I can easily slip my slip stitches onto that crochet hook, do my cable stitches, and then go back to slip them back onto the needles for the remaining, to continue on with the pattern. So here is where I have gotten to. Let me just make sure I did that right while I'm talking, because I could easily, yep, I'm good. Here is where I've gotten to on my sweater pattern to date. As you can see, again, like I said, it is a looser gauge, but I'm perfectly fine with that. And here is the beginning of, you're not even going to be able to see it well. You're going to have to wait until we get to, that's the beginning of the cable. But it's kind of hard to see right now. Where's it at? Right here. Where's my camera? Jeez. Yeah, not well to see. Not easy to see right now. So anyways, now I'm all tangled up. Hope you're all doing well. It's Flossmas. Hope you're all celebrating in style and you're having wonderful festive time. If you don't celebrate Christmas but you celebrate something, I hope you're having a wonderful time. If you don't celebrate anything, I hope you have Something's not right there. Ah, I see why. That would be why. Don't want to knit backwards. I hope you have a wonderful month of December, because I know not everyone celebrates any holiday during the month. So again, enjoy whatever you celebrate. And I will be back tomorrow with another festive holiday video full of experiences. And don't forget to always be creative.